Surprised absolutely no one today when they named Penn State's Kenny Jackson their #1 territorial draft pick. Jackson is one of the top wide receivers in the country and will also go high in the NFL draft. But Stars coach Jim Mora told me he thinks Jackson could...
You get the name on the line, but Kenny knows a lot of the players on our football team. He's familiar with our program. He's been around some. His brother's on our football team, so there's an association there, so we think we've got some things going for us.
In the open phase of the draft, the Stars' top pick was Scott Reardon. He's that big offensive tackle out of Nebraska who helped open up those big holes for Mike Rozier. Stars president Carl Peterson told me Reardon could step in and play for the Stars right away.
He's very capable of doing that, yes. I think, though, that he would be a guy that would back up for a year and then be able to step in. Like I said, Brad Oates has indicated he wants to play another year, so we're going to look at that. And we did lose an offensive tackle, I think everybody knows, in our expansion draft.
Well, last night, both the Flyers and Sixers played teams they usually don't have very much. Scott Reardon, he is a big, strong offensive tackle from Nebraska. The #1 territorial pick for the Stars was Kenny Jackson from South Jersey. He has had a great career as a wide receiver at Penn State, and the Stars think they can sign him. If he does play here, Jackson will team up with Stars quarterback Chuck Fusina. Critics say Fusina cannot throw long, so the Stars don't need a speedster like Kenny Jackson.
You know, you want a receiver to get open, and that's what he does best. We have good receivers here, there's no doubt about it. Kenny would only add to the receivers we have. I think I can get the ball downfield if I have to. We didn't use it a lot last year, but we used a control-type offense. It was very effective for us. I don't think we're going to have to change a whole lot, but, you know, if Kenny goes deep, if any wide receivers go deep, I think I can get the ball to him. I've been working out a lot more on it this year. I'm sick of those critics.
All right, get that strong arm, Chuck. Some unfinished business from the bowl games right now. The Caltech student who pulled that scoreboard prank at the Rose Bowl says he will receive college credit for the joke. You might remember the scoreboard was supposed to say UCLA against Illinois. Instead, it said Caltech against MIT. Well, the student's name is Dan Cagle, and he says he arranged the deal for credit with his teacher. Cagle originally asked for 6 credits for the prank, but his teacher was so impressed, he says Cagle may end up with 12 credits.
6'4", 285-pound tackle, Scott Reardon is their top choice.
Stars, he'd also like to play for a team his parents could come to see. And this is the #1 objective, sign the Penn State receiver. In the overall nationwide draft, they picked offensive tackle Scott Reardon, the man who plays next to an All-American, Dean Steinkuhler. In other words, someone who's willing to sign now with the Stars, learn the job, and eventually replace the oldest man on the team, Brad Oates. Those Stars don't make many mistakes, and they know where to invest in the future.
And very important to us, he comes out of an excellent program in Nebraska, a team that have been winners, and they're used to winning. They know what hard work is, they're disciplined. This is the kind of people we're looking for in our program.
Reardon instead of Steinkuhler, for one, we felt that in our offensive line, the offensive tackle position was more of a need. Brad Oates is our starting left tackle. He's a practicing attorney in San Diego. He's played 8, this would be his 9th year. He's indicated to us that this might be his last year. We felt our guard position was pretty good, and very candidly, we felt that we would rather invest our dollars in perhaps one of our territory draft picks, one of our high ones, such as our first draft pick, Kenny Jackson, rather than an offensive guard, Dean Steinkuhler.
And that's the player they'd really like to sign, Kenny Jackson out of Penn State. Terrific wide receiver. He was part of their territorial draft. All right, let's take a look at the Stars' top picks, territorial drafts. Kenny Jackson out of Penn State. Joe Conwell, an offensive tackle out of North Carolina, also out of Ballackinwood. William Fuller out of North Carolina. That's one of their territorial teams. Brian Blados out of North Carolina, big 300-pound offensive tackle. And Tim Reardon, the quarterback out of Temple. Now, in the regular phase of the draft, Scott Reardon, the offensive tackle out of the